Stop trying to look like everyone else, because you may find that the thing that sets you apart, and we are called to be set apart, is actually what's going to make you have a better experience in life. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name's Gwen, for those of you who are new here. Today I wanted to do another beauty related chit chat. I did episode 1, I believe it was last month, where I talked about why I was transitioning to wearing my natural hair, learning to embrace my natural hair from someone who was addicted to hair extensions. I will leave that down below so you guys can catch up if you haven't seen that. In today's video, I want to shift gears and kind of jump into the beauty of being unique, and how being unique and being set apart can actually work for you, especially in today's world where there is a known beauty standard that a lot of people are trying to meet. So before we jump in, I do have to make some disclaimers. I don't want people to think that because this video is solely on the outward appearance that the inward appearance doesn't matter, because in my opinion, your inward being gives you the most substance. Yes, it may be what people see that makes them like either want to approach you, want to be your friend, want to give you a job interview, but it's going to be who you are inside that sustains you. Okay, get a tea, coffee, let's jump into the video. We know that beauty standards exist. It's a real thing, whether we want to admit it or not. And to be honest, especially in the days of being online, and even before online existed, people wanted to be what was beautiful. Being beautiful and looking nice or looking appealing to the eye gets you in a lot of different doors. And I know a lot of people don't want to believe that, or a lot of people don't want to face that reality, but it's very true. In the world that we live, we are humans, we have eyes. Man looks at the outward appearance, God looks at the heart, but it even tells you, man looks at the outward appearance, okay? It's clear as day. I'm reading Genesis right now. It talked about Leah and Rachel, how in the Bible it said Rachel was beautiful. Jacob thought she was beautiful. Was it Jacob? I believe it was Jacob. Yes, Jacob. He wasn't Joseph though. Joseph denied the Potiphar's wife. Yes, he did. But Jacob, I don't know. Was he? Now, you know what? Let's do a side reel. Let's do a side reel, because I've been wanting to kind of talk about this. How if a man tells you that he won't wait on you, he is a liar, okay? And if you guys are unfamiliar with that story, Jacob worked for 7 years. He saw Rachel. The scripture said that she was beautiful. He was really attracted to her. He saw her and he said, oh, I want her. And I'm gonna work 7 years to get her. So he worked 7 years. They're like, okay, 7 years is up. Here, I'm gonna give you your wife through a party. And so they go in at nighttime, and I guess the lights were off, you know, night. Okay, the lights are off, and the father sends in the older sister. He doesn't send in Rachel, the one that he wanted. And he wakes up the next morning and he's like, what is this? Who is this? This is not who I wanted. And the father is like, oh, it's not in our custom. We need to send you the older sister first. And he's like, okay, I'm gonna work another 7 years for the one that I really want. He wanted Rachel, and he worked an extra 7 years. He could have been content and said, you know what, I'm gonna just take the sister, do that. No, he worked another 7 years. So if a man tells you that he will not wait on you, that's not the one for you. Okay, back to the story. There are other examples in scripture of the Bible saying that people are attractive. I think Saul was another guy. Scripture talked about physical appearance in people, and it's no different today. We find beautiful things attractive. And so when we think about beauty standards, it can end up being something that is mainstream, but it's not something that is normal. And I say that because if we look at, like, take an Instagram model or something for the sake of this video, it's something where when you go out in your day-to-day life, when I'm out in Colorado, people don't look like that. So it is something that is not the norm, but it's something that's mainstream, because when you go online, everyone looks this way. And you're like, this is a mainstream beauty. You know, you got the long hair, you know, the straight hair, you know, the perfect body or whatever, right? So it's not necessarily average and normal, but it is mainstream. And I personally feel, like I said, that beauty standards are standards for a reason, because it's something that people have to attain. when we're thinking about average, that's actually what sparked me to do this video. I was in my email and I saw Reddit kind of like recommends you stuff. If you guys know Reddit and Quora, they're kind of like forums. And it recommended me this post. Post said being average looking is better than being attractive. I think it's better to be average looking, especially if you're an introvert, because everyone leaves you alone generally. And if you want to start a convo with someone, most people will talk to you. Plus, you don't get any stares. Nobody really looks at you. It's just a nice, peaceful life. It honestly depends on the person you are. If you want all the attention, then you probably want to be on the more attractive side. But for the average Joe, I think it's better to stay average. I can kind of see where he's coming from, but I thought it was funny. Someone goes, lowercase g, no. If you're hot and introvert, then you're mysterious and a lone wolf and interesting. If you're an average or an uggo, then you're just that dude who's maybe a bit awkward and a bit of a loner. Someone else goes, so those are pretty funny, and we're actually going to jump into what that first person said, because I think when it comes to being unique looking, it really matters on if you are attractive or not. So I do want to clarify, what do I mean by unique looking? I mean something that stands out about you. I'm not talking about unique looking as being something where you have control over this thing and you are completely letting it go. No, I'm saying unique looking, meaning like your hair is wild and big, or like you have doll eyes, you know, something that can set you apart that's not necessarily a thing that you're just neglecting and letting go. Now, we all know that beauty is really subjective, and it's not a cop-out thing to say, because genuinely beauty is in the eye of the beholder. In some places, being a woman who is super curvaceous and having a fuller womanly figure with, let's say, maybe long, curly, dark hair is the beauty standard. And in other cultures, being a thin woman, blonde hair, blue eyes, that may be another beauty standard. So it really depends on what culture you're looking at, what person you're looking at. So with all that being said, if you're someone who says, you know what, I understand that I'm not a supermodel, which is literally like majority of people. You're like, oh, I'm not a supermodel, but I can appreciate this one quality about me. So I am going to talk a lot about having curly hair and being a Black woman, since that applies to me, but it does apply to literally any other situation. Whether you have red hair, whether you have thick eyebrows, whether you have slanted eyes, literally this could apply to anyone. I would encourage you to hone in on that quality instead of trying to be like everyone else. And I'll give you like a real quick example. For so long, I was trying to wear weave and straighten my hair because I thought that's what made me look beautiful according to the world standards. And not only just the world standards, I had this innate view of myself that straight-haired Gwen was cuter. And yes, I still have that whole mindset that I'm trying to work through. And even with like some outfits that I wear, I'm like, oh my goodness, this would look so cute with my straight hair, you know. And the fact that like also my straight hair is longer, which I like my hair longer. So anyway, that's still something I'm working through. But I have naturally big curly hair, and I was trying to be mainstream when I should have just honed in on what I had that made me unique. Because now that I've started wearing my natural hair more, I have gotten a different reaction from people in a good way. Like, I have gotten so much curiosity. I literally get stopped in the store of people complimenting my hair or just being curious and wanting to strike up a conversation, versus when I wore my hair straight. Now, I do have to mention that I did get compliments when I wore my hair straight, but it was always when I went above and beyond and did my bomb blowout. When I had basic, straight, flat hair, I didn't really get complimented on that particular thing. And I think it's because having a bomb blowout was not considered the norm when it pertained to straight hair. And this has been really nice because I'm in the phase of wanting female friendships, and every time I'm in Sephora, I kid you not, there is a girl who will come up to me and go like, oh my gosh, your hair. And I feel like that is a perfect opportunity to strike up a conversation of like, oh, so where are you from, you know? And because I'm in a stage of my life where I'm wanting female friendships, having something that is unique, that's not normal, that kind of stands out in a good way, really helps me to get what I am desiring right now, which is seeking out female friendships. I am pretty average looking. And so because I'm average looking, leaning in to something that is not so average about me kind of brings about a good experience. And I think that if you are someone who you're average, look into what it is that makes you unique or that makes you set apart and hone in on that, because you may find out that you honing in on that thing that makes you unique versus trying to be mainstream will actually give you a better experience overall. Now, I do understand that there is things going on with like decentering men and like, I don't know, are people decentering careers or decentering friendships? I don't know. But when I'm talking about a better experience, I'm talking about, yes, seeking out a partner, romantic relationships, seeking out girlfriends or guy friends if you're a man, seeking out better career options. All these things are dictated. I know a lot of people don't like to think so, but looks do play a part in these areas of life. There's a reason why you want to be and look your best when you go for a job interview, because looks do matter. People are going to look at you, and that will play a part into whether you get a role or not. The same with a partner, the same with girlfriends. Looks matter. So before I went to Ukraine to visit, which if you guys don't know, my husband's Ukrainian, but in Ukraine there is not a lot of black people, so I would go and search up black in Ukraine, black in Slavic countries, because it was my first time out of the country. Oh, my baby boy is up. Hi, my baby. So I would go and search up stories about being black in these Slavic countries to kind of see like what was other people experience. And I ran across a lot of people saying that in those particular countries, you will get a lot of curiosity because they are not used to seeing black women in an area where everyone looked the same. They were the ones who was different. So in an area where everyone had, you know, white skin, and here you come, a bronze goddess, you are going to stand out in a good way. Then you have something that is not considered mainstream. It actually helps in weeding out the negative people. So this is another reason that you can make your uniqueness work for you and work in your favor, because think about it. We'll take the example of the color thing. Like obviously being brown skin or being white or being whatever is not a unique thing. There's so many like that. Sometimes your environment makes it unique. White skin in Sweden may not be unique, but white skin in Africa is unique. This is going to help you to weed people out, because I find that the average person really doesn't like being someone to ruffle the feathers. The average person really doesn't like a lot of questions. And that's why majority of people do date in their own race, because they don't want to get a little bit of backlash. They don't want to get curiosity from others. They don't want to kind of be put in that situation where other people are going to take notice and stare at them. So when you are this person, you know you are going to get a lot of looks because you're someone who stands out, and you know that the person who is going to be with you or the person who's going to be friends with you is now also subjecting themselves to being associated with you, which if you are a weak person, you're not even gonna try it, you know, because you're like, I just don't really like that kind of like attention, so I don't even want to try this. So good, that weeds those people out. It's really important that when you are honing in on what makes you unique, you do find people who actually find beauty and find it actually extremely rare and beautiful of something that you have, versus seeing it as like second best, because those people can pivot, if you know what I mean. You know, one of the things that I think is the most beautiful is like Asian people's eyes. I find that they have such cute, adorable eyes, and it really sets them apart. The same way how, you know, black women have kinky hair, but there are things that set us each apart. And for me now, it has become so eye-opening of how many doors embracing your uniqueness or what makes you unique can open. And I didn't always think like this. I wasn't always thinking this way. I used to think like, I want to be the mainstream beauty. And the more I grow in just as a person, I'm starting to learn like there is beauty in not everyone looking alike. There is beauty in people being different and looking differently. There is beauty in that. And it honestly, it shows God's diversity, to be honest. I just think like, especially with having a baby, like honestly, now having a baby, I'm like, this person is really the little you, and it puts your mark on this world. And now the things that you wanted to change about yourself, you see in this little human being, and you're like, wow, why? Like, No, that is their little quirk, you know, that like they're a little you. I don't know. I hope that makes sense. But all in all, I just want to say, stop trying to look like everyone else, because you may find that the thing that sets you apart, and we are called to be set apart, is actually what's going to make you have a better experience in life. All right, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I am so sorry about, you know, my baby coming into camera and everything like that, but you know, we're a mom, this is real life. If you guys enjoyed this chit chat, leave me a like and drop down any future beauty chit chat related topics that you guys would like me to discuss in the future. Other than that, I thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.